I'm Faith Lapidus with the VOA Special English Economics Report. Minimum wage is the lowest hourly pay rate permitted by law. In the United States, the federal minimum wage is $5.15 an hour. It has not changed since 1997, and it does not include all jobs. For example, workers who receive extra money in the form of tips can be paid $2.13 an hour. Also, the federal rate may not cover some workers for small companies. State laws often set minimum pay in these cases. The Department of Labor says about 2 million workers earn the minimum wage or less. That is about 3% of all workers paid by the hour. Ohio and Kansas have lower minimum wages for some workers than under federal law, but 16 of the 50 states and the District of Columbia have minimum wages higher than the federal one. In California, Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger has just proposed what he says is a much-needed raise. California's minimum wage would rise $1 to $7.65 an hour over the next year and a half. State lawmakers passed a bill last year to add $1 to the minimum wage, but Mr. Schwarzenegger vetoed it because it would have also required yearly increases for inflation. State governments led the way in the history of the minimum wage in America. Massachusetts passed a law for women and children in 1912, but in 1923, the Supreme Court found wage requirements for private employers unconstitutional. It ruled that states could not interfere with pay agreements. In 1938, however, the Fair Labor Standards Act established a federal minimum wage. At that time, it was 25 cents. Some economists and lawmakers argue that markets and not the government should set prices for labor. They say minimum wage laws reduce the number of jobs for unskilled workers and young people. Employers might not be happy with higher labor costs, but labor activists warn that inflation has reduced